We hope you enjoyed our debate between the runoff candidates for Lubbock Mayor, and we never have enough time on TV to talk about everything. So we're going to play a little overtime with the candidates here, just on the web. Just a few more questions, same format, gentlemen. And Alex, let's start with you here.
Thanks, Brian. In recent years, we've had several instances of people being killed by stray dogs in the city of Lubbock, and even more injuries caused by dog attacks. Mr. Massengale, we'll start with you. Do you have a plan to address the stray dog issue, and if so, share that with us?
Sure. Thank you for the question. The stray dog, dangerous dogs are on a lot of people's minds. I think it's got to be addressed by the council. As mayor, I'm prepared to bring that up. I think we can hold the line on taxes and help animal services out. I think it starts with education. I think we need to make sure that our animal owners have all the resources they need to be responsible. I think I would also explore more public-private partnerships with this issue with our veterinarians that we already partner with at the animal shelter, but expand that and make sure that they're a part of the solution, as well as there's many nonprofits that are willing to help with animal situations. And finally, I think you have to have a spirited debate on the council to see if we need to outfit animal control with more officers and more vehicles to do their job.
Mr. McBrayer, what is your plan to address the stray dog issue in Lubbock?
Well, first of all, as with a lot of problems, oftentimes it's not enforcing the rules and the regulations that you already have on the books. And if I have to choose, I know we have a lot of animal lovers in our city, and I'm an animal lover myself, but people come before pets. People come before animals. We have to protect our citizens. I myself have had dogs run up, and I've never been bitten by one, but a good friend of mine was the man who was killed by the dogs in the park. So it's a serious problem. We do have programs in place to help people fix fences. If they don't have the money to fix the fence, to keep their dogs in. We need to do a better job of communicating that to people, but we need to be serious about enforcing our rules and our regulations and getting these dogs and these animals off the streets. We have a crowded facility though, and we also have to find new ways to send animals that are susceptible to adoption out to other locations, but we also have to address the problem of animals that we never can find a home for.
Thank you. Let's start with you, Mr. McBrayer, for this question. Describe your biggest frustration on your time on council. It can pertain to a certain issue, a policy you perhaps don't care for, new or old, or even just an overarching problem that you see. And what is a plan to remedy that?
Well, I think the biggest issue for me on city council is how much we depend on City Hall and city management to give us information. And so I believe, as I said earlier, I represent the citizens of Lubbock. And so we need to find a better way. I want to find a better way to communicate decisions that we're going to be making to citizens so that we get their input first before or at the same time we're getting the information from City Hall, so that we're taking both of these things into consideration at the same time. Because at the end of the day, we are policymakers and we should represent the will of the people. We don't represent City Hall. And that's not to say City Hall people are wrong, or they're doing their job, but we don't represent them. And make no mistake about it, on City Hall, on City Council, I have understood I represent the people who voted for me, and if I'm mayor, I will understand that I represent the people of Lubbock who voted for me, not City Hall.
Mr. Massengale, how do you remedy a frustration you've seen?
So I would say my biggest frustration at City Hall is responsiveness, and that's not to say someone's not doing their job, but the circumstances, as you represent your district, you're trying to, you have a problem with a constituent and you're trying to deliver a solution. And sometimes you can't get the dumpster out there fast enough, or you can't get the alley graded, or a pothole fixed. And so, if there would be one thing I could do as mayor, it would be increase the culture and make sure that we were more responsive to our constituents. At the end of the day, that's what we're there for. And you know, it's challenging sometimes, and again, it's not anyone's in particular's fault. It's not that anyone's not doing what they're supposed to do, but you know, you want to solve things for people and you want to be responsive.
Thank you.
So we'll steer back to policy now. We saw a road bond that passed here in Lubbock a while back, and we've got various streets throughout the city that are undergoing repair. But one thing that we haven't talked about in a while is Broadway. That was part of a previous road bond package that was rejected, and most people agree there's still a need, but we haven't seen a plan yet. What is your plan to address Broadway? And we'll start with Mr. Massengale.
Thank you for the question. I think Broadway's important. I think the new council has got to address it. I've always thought Broadway is one of the most important streets that we needed to rebuild. It connects our interstate to our university. I think Broadway was proposed at a much higher price than it should have been proposed in the first bond package. I think that was contributed to its failing. I think we've got to find a solution that brings the biggest bang for the taxpayer buck on Broadway. I personally can't support doing all brick. I think that we can honor the legacy of the brick on Broadway in a way that can make it more affordable. I think we also have to look at what length or what segments of Broadway we do. If I'm elected mayor, it's a discussion that we'll have quickly on the council so that we can make a decision on what Broadway looks like and move forward with it.
Thank you. And Mr. McBrayer, Broadway?
Yeah, Broadway is really the connecting link between downtown and the university is the most important, I believe, connecting link of that street. It's really something to try to bring people into town and to drive down that street and try to introduce them to Texas Tech without having the teeth knocked out of their mouths. So it's an embarrassment to me. We do have to fix the problem, and however we do fix it needs to be something that's attractive and also does hint to the historic brick, but we can't do it, as Mr. Massengale said, all in brick. We just don't have enough bricks to do that. So I'm for addressing that problem because it really is, it is the face of our city. But we do have to be considerate about the cost, and I understand that is probably the main reason the street bond failed the first time we brought it forward, or I didn't bring it forward, it was brought forward by former council. But it will come up again, and this time I hope we have a good plan that people understand and they're willing to sign off on and support.
Thank you.
All right, gentlemen, we got time for one more question from folks around town. William Tucker has a question for you now. We'll start with you, Mr. Massengale, about the shelters for those experiencing homelessness.
Everybody's asking the same question, and that is the people that live on the street. What are y'all going to do to attack the shelter problem? These people that are without shelter and, you know, without warmth for the night or cool for the night now that it's summer.
All right, Mr. Massengale.
I think the citizen on the video was asking about homelessness. You know, it's an issue. It's an issue we've worked on the last 8 years that I've been on council. We've made some progress on that. I'm excited to support the Diversion Center, which is a partnership with the county, and I think that's an important piece of this. We've made some moves that I've supported to further deploy ARPA dollars and to nonprofits in our community so that those that are good at caring for those that are homeless and empowering them, I think that's part of the solution as well.
All right, Mr. McBrayer, is there an expanded role the city can play in helping our homeless neighbors?
Well, homelessness and crime are two of the quickest areas the city can go into decline, and we see that all around the country. Lubbock does not have as bad a homelessness problem as other cities do, and we have tried to address it, but one of the ways we have addressed it in the past is to kind of locate them all in a particular area, and that has a negative effect on a residential area, and that is one of the complaints I get a lot. We've just this year attempted to make a change to trying to address it in a different way, focusing more on mental health and other kinds of services that we can provide to the homeless and not just making it a housing issue for them. We'll wait and see what the results of that are, and hopefully that will be good. But we do need to stay on top of that issue because we don't want it to become the problem in Lubbock that it's become in Austin and other cities where it's very obviously one of the quickest ways a city goes into decline. I love those people. I care for them. But we also have to take care of the needs of the citizens and homeowners here in Lubbock.
Gentlemen, great job. Good luck to both of you. And look for more with the candidates leading up to the elections on KMAC, online at everythinglubbock.com, and in the AJ and at lubbockonline.com. Early voting begins Monday, June 3rd, Election Day, Saturday, June 15th. And once again, thank you for watching.